What's up, guys? Welcome to Cage Talk Connor. I am Connor. Gonna be my post show for UFC Noche 3, the third of the UFC Noche events. I guess it's the third time they're celebrating this. I don't know. What was the first one? So it's the first one was Shevchenko Grasso 2, I guess. And that was a fight night with a title fight on it. And then the last one was the Sphere card. So this is definitely the worst of the Noche cards. This one I forgot half the fucking time that it was even a Noche card. It wasn't until they showed the ring girls where I was like, oh yeah, we're doing the whole Noche thing. But whatever, doesn't matter. It was a pretty good card. Actually, it was a great card for a fight night. Not like the most stacked event by any means, not the biggest names on the card, but it was a fun fight night nonetheless. Like I turned this on, show it to the boys. You know what I'm saying? Be like, watch this shit, guys, and watch some awesome fights because there were some good ones on there, especially on the main card. Some good action on the prelims too. Besides that Tatiana Suarez fight, oof. But anyways, guys, let's get into the full video here. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You're already there right now. Go ahead, click that subscribe button for me. Go watch my other videos. What am I putting out next? I'm putting out a who had the best year in the UFC video next. That should be up sometime later this week or early next week. I'm not entirely sure. I'm very slow with making videos. But if that interests you, that'll be up soon. I got some other fun videos on there. And then, of course, some other recaps and previews for previous UFC cards that went down this year. Anyways, guys, let's get into the whole video then. Of course, in your main event, Diego Lopes defeated John Silva via TKO round 2. Fun fight, great fight, honestly. It got pretty heated leading up to it this whole week. I didn't realize how much beef John Silva and Diego Lopes had, but or if it was just kind of fabricated by John Silva there. That's kind of what it seemed like a little bit. It doesn't really seem like Diego Lopes hates anyone all that much. So I don't know. It's weird Diego Lopes keeps getting in beef with guys with John Silva and Yair now, right? It's he just seems like such a nice guy. It's like I don't know what is there to dislike about Diego Lopes? I don't really get it. But whatever. Nonetheless, Diego Lopes TKO'd him in the second round with a brutal spinning elbow too, and then just some brutal ground and pound. I mean, John Silva was out. I know he was complaining after the stoppage, but like, man, dude, you were fucking out. You're lucky the ref stopped it there. And Diego Lopes looked great throughout the fight. I definitely thought John Silva was coming back during the second round, but now Diego Lopes clipped him when he was coming in with that spinning elbow, which is funny because John Silva was trying to land that spinning elbow multiple times throughout the fight. In fact, Diego Lopes must have been making reads on that because John Silva just kept throwing that spinning elbow and missing over and over again. And then he decided to throw his own, I guess. And yeah, out John Silva went. The Fighting Nerds, undefeated in the UFC, no more. I do believe they'll be back though. I think John Silva is still very good. Like I think John Silva will rise back and be a top 5 guy in this featherweight division. I don't know if he'll be champ or anything, but I do think he will come back. He will rise from this. He will probably get better from this. And I think the Fighting Nerds as a whole will probably end up getting a lot better from their recent losses. I mean, you also saw Carlos Prates bounce back from the Ian Gary loss already. And then, came back and looked fantastic against Jeff Neal. So I think the rest of them will bounce back as well. Diego Lopes, of course, in a weird spot now because he's lost the current champ Volkanovski. Recently lost the current champ Volkanovski, and it's just kind of a weird spot for him to be in now. So it's kind of hard to tell where you go with him from here. Like Alexander Volkanovski only has so many fights left in his career, and I don't think he's gonna ever want to do a rematch with Diego Lopes from one of his last few fights. So really, I think Diego Lopes is just gonna have to keep winning fights, keep stacking up dubs until Volkanovski retires, which shouldn't be too long. I mean, maybe got 2, 3, 4 fights left with Volkanovski at most. I would say 3 at most, Volkanovski. So he's just gonna kind of have to wait that out and keep stacking up wins. So for Diego Lopes next, I guess, since there isn't many options, I think the best option for him next would be the rematch with Mozart Evloev. I think that's probably the best fight to make for this division. I think you give Lerone Murphy the title shot against Alexander Volkanovski. Hopefully in December, we get that out of the way this year. I see Aljamain Sterling kind of upset by all this, and he really wants a title shot. I just don't think Aljamain Sterling deserves the title shot. You just lost to Mozart Evloev, man. It's just like, not just, but, that was late last year, but it's like, okay, you got one win from Brian Ortega, since then, and it's like we can't justify giving Aljo a title shot. I don't think, not over Laurel Murphy in my opinion. And like honestly, if I had it my way, Mozart Evlov would be getting the title shot now. But I just think UFC is going to be a little apprehensive about giving Mozart a title shot after he pulled out of the Pico fight and how many canceled fights Mozart Evlov has. I feel like it's they're not going to be able to justify it in their minds to give Mozart Evlov a title shot. So I think you give it to Laurel Murphy with that awesome win over Aaron Pico, and then you do this. You do Diego Lopes with Mozart Evlov too. And because this was a really fun fight, the first fight, anyways, and I think you could like headline a fun fight night with this, and it's a good showcase for Mozart Evlov or a good rematch redemption for Diego Lopes here. And I think this is kind of the best route to go because you can't do Mozart Evlov versus Aljamain Sterling too, And like I know people want Diego Lopes versus Yair Rodriguez, but it's like that doesn't really make sense right now either. So if I have it my way, I'm doing Aljamain Sterling versus Yair Rodriguez, Diego Lopes versus Mozart Evlov too, and Alexander Volkanovski versus Laurel Murphy. That would be how I match up these featherweights here. For John Silver next, he's in an interesting position here. It's he's 10th ranked at this featherweight division. I thought he looked good in this fight still. Like I know he got TKO'd in the second round, but I still think like he was coming on in the second round and he was looking pretty good. So I don't think he goes too far back. Why not Giga Chikate? I think that's a fun fight. Giga Chikate ranked like 15 at featherweight right now. And I think that'd be a fun fight. John Silver, Giga Chikate, excuse me, and set that one up. Put that on a fight night somewhere, co-main event somewhere, whatever. You can even throw that on a pay-per-view, and that's a fun fight. Good bounce-back performance for John Silva. Bounce-back win, maybe, for John Silva. And both guys coming off losses, too, so I feel like this would make a lot of sense. In your co-main event, David Martinez defeated Rob Font via unanimous decision. David Martinez cracking into the rankings now. Good for him. It's one win in the UFC, and then he was able to get a fight against Rob Font. That's tough to do, and then he won in his own right. It's apparently he has some good kickboxing credentials. He has a kickboxing background, and it definitely showed during this fight, man. He was just able to kind of stay on the outside, avoid the heavy strikes from Rob Font, and kind of pick him apart from the outside and just outpoint him throughout the entire fight. So good for him. Got some new blood going in this UFC bantamweight division, excuse me. And it should be fun to see what they do next with him. For him, I'm gonna suggest fight Bryce Mitchell. I think David Martinez should be ranked. I think he's ranked number 11 right now. Bryce Mitchell recently dropped down to the bantamweight division, and I feel like you set this one up. Give Bryce a possible chance to crack into the rankings, and then give David Martinez a bigger name too in the bantamweight division, and kind of build his star, and then also give Bryce the opportunity to crack into the rankings. I think it makes sense for both guys, and kind of striker versus grappler matchup. I like it. I like it quite a bit. So I say we set that one up. Next fight then, Rafa Garcia defeated Jared Gordon via TKO round 3. Got a feel for Jared Gordon here. That was a tough one. Apparently he got in a car accident the day before the fight, which is incredible that he didn't pull out. I don't know how true that is or not. I know Bilal just tweeted that out, so who knows how true that is. But if that is true, it's like, man, that's a rough going here, because this was actually a really awesome fight throughout the whole time, very competitive throughout the whole time, and Rafa Garcia just caught him with a big right hand in that third round, was able to put Jared Gordon out of there. And you got to feel for him a little bit, but good for Rafa Garcia. Definitely the biggest win of his career thus far. For Rafa Garcia next, what do we want to do here? I'm gonna suggest Esteban Ribovic, because that would be fun as fuck. Last time Esteban Ribovic fought a Mexican, we got a fight of the year at that Sphere card when he fought Daniel Zellhuber, and why not do it again? I think this could be a really fun matchup at lightweight, and winner of this gets a top 15 opponent maybe at lightweight. See that working out. Next fight then, Kelvin Gastelum defeated Dustin Stoltzfus via unanimous decision. This one very weird considering how much Kelvin Gastelum missed weight by a little over 5 pounds, I believe, and it's just really not a good look for KG here. But a fun fight, and a good win for Kelvin Gastelum. kind of showing where Kelvin Gastelum is in his career because it was so competitive, and Dustin Solfit's not even a ranked UFC middleweight. So, we're definitely towards the tail end of Kelvin Gastelum's career here. It seems like he's kind of running out of steam, at least when it comes to really highly ranked opponents. But you can still throw Kelvin Gastelum in there with anyone, and he'll be competitive. So yeah, it was a good fight, but the weight miss hangs over the entire performance, unfortunately, for Kelvin Gastelum. For Kelvin Gastelum next, I don't think we can reward him with anyone ranked or anything. So I'm gonna suggest Bruno Ferreira, or he should really be fighting a nutritionist next. You know what I'm saying? Hey G, we gotta get this weight together. We gotta do something. We can't be moving up to light heavyweight. But I'm gonna suggest Bruno Ferreira for Kelvin Gastelum next. I think that would be a fun fight. Not a ranked opponent. Bruno Ferreira coming off 2 wins in the UFC right now in that middleweight division. And I feel like, if Kelvin Gastelum can make weight here, beat Bruno Ferreira, then we can start talking about ranked opponents again. But nonetheless, I feel like you set this one up. Maybe put it on a Brazil card early next year or something like that. They normally go to Mexico in February. Maybe throw it on there. And that'd be a fun fight. It would definitely be a good performance for KG if he's able to get past Bruno Ferreira, and then we could start talking about ranked opponents again. Your next fight, Alexander Hernandez defeated Diego Ferreira via TKO round 2. You gotta feel good for Alexander Hernandez here. He I think for a while, all the fans kind of hated Alexander Hernandez, but he's really kind of turned a corner with his personality here, and his fights, he's just kind of showing out in these fights now, too. He knocked out Chase Super, now he knocked out Diego Ferreira. Big wins for him. So I feel very good for Alex Hernandez. I think it's kind of the feel good story of 2025 right now that this kid's able to kind of bounce back and win over some fans and show out with some big performances here. For Alexander Hernandez next, I'm going to suggest Bobby Green. I don't think we can quite push Alexander Hernandez right into a fight in the UFC lightweight rankings quite yet. I think he needs one more before this, and man, lightweight is just so stacked. You can take like the top 30 guys lightweight, and they're better than most of the top 10 guys in every other division. It's honestly insane. But I'm gonna suggest Bobby Green next. I think that's a big name for Alexander Hernandez. That's a fun fight for Alexander Hernandez, and if he's able to get past that one, then we can start talking about ranked guys for him. In your last fight, Santiago Luna defeated Quan Lee via KO round 1. Santiago Luna, this was his UFC debut. Quan Lee on a 3-fight losing streak now in the UFC, so he's probably getting cut. For Luna next, I don't really know. It's kind of tough to say when you're only 1-0 in the UFC. He's probably gonna end up fighting some guy off the Contender Series or whatever. But if I had to suggest someone, I'm gonna suggest Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon coming off a 3-fight losing streak in the UFC. But he was a hot prospect before all that, and has looked good in the past. And I don't think the UFC has cut him quite yet. So I figure win this or go home, Cameron Simon, and get a 1-0 guy in the UFC. If you're not able to get past him, well, then the UFC would probably cut him. For Santiago Luna, it's a decent sized name to continue in your career. I believe he's super young too, Santiago Luna. I think he's like 21. So yeah, I think this would be a fun fight and a solid matchup for him. Here goes the rest of your card. Like I said, that Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos fight, that was boring as hell. I can't believe that fight was so bad. Actually, I can, but it's what's funny is like I still think Tatiana Suarez is probably better than Mackenzie Dern and Vienna Jandiroba. She probably beats both of them who are fighting for the title later this year, and so I don't know. That division is just in a really weird place, and it's gonna be even weirder if Weili Zhang ends up beating Shevchenko and stays at the flyweight division. But nonetheless, like I was saying, good card. What do we want to rate this one? I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5 for UFC Noche 3. I think it was a good card. Not the best, certainly the least memorable of the UFC Noches just because of the fights that were on it, the names that were on the card, but nonetheless, a good card. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Like I said, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out my other videos as well. Thanks so much. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.